expressed on this program are not those of intellectualradio.com, its subsidiaries, or sponsors. Encouraging, educating, and empowering you into action. This is Warriors Talk with your host, Lady ReShell.
Hello. Welcome to Warriors Talk with author and founder Lady ReShell, where we move away from awareness towards action. It is Relationship Monday, and our topic for today is the biggest misconception about relationships. We are live on Intellectual Radio. We just heard from the Drive at 5 with Roman. Keep it locked right here on Intellectual Radio and allow us to feed your brain. On the last episode of Warriors Talk, we spoke with real estate guru Tamara Mutri about the mistakes to avoid when you are purchasing a home. You can go over to YouTube actually and type in Intellectual Radio. Stay connected to Warriors Talk for any episodes you may have missed. The quote of the day is, "Before you find your soulmate, you must discover your soul." We are grateful for our sponsors on today. We have Gloria Dotson with Mary Kay, who is catering to all of your beauty needs from head to toe. We have Allstate with Paula Kelly, who is fulfilling your insurance needs in one place. We have MyLeah Simone with affordable book editing services, editorial services without skimming on quality. And then we have Pastor Michael Richardson with the Emanuel C.O.G.I.C, who is giving you your spiritual food every Sunday morning at 10:15 a.m. on Facebook, and he has a special message for us.
Greetings, I am Pastor Michael Richardson.
And I am First Lady Anastasia Richardson from the Emanuel Church of God in Christ. We're located at 3058 West Van Buren in Chicago, Illinois. We are building upon a solid foundation.
And we're inviting you to join us every Sunday morning on Facebook Live at Emanuel C.O.G.I.C at 10:15 Central Standard Time. And you can also view our videos on our YouTube channel at Emanuel C.O.G.I.C-MR. Once again, this is Pastor Michael Richardson
and First Lady Anastasia Richardson. And we're from the Emanuel Church of God in Christ. We are building upon a solid foundation.
Here are your trending topics for today. According to CNN, to avoid lockdowns, people in the United States will have to do things that they won't necessarily want to do, such as wearing a mask indoors at gatherings, and even if you're vaccinated, and also having your kids masked up for school. We want to avoid lockdowns altogether at all costs, but that means that we're going to have to do some things that we don't necessarily want to do. Coming from Dr. Francis Collins, he said it on ABC's Good Morning America. Those unwelcome things include vaccinated people wearing a mask indoors at parties. Collins says, citing an outbreak that happened in Massachusetts, in which many of the people who were infected were fully vaccinated. In the past 2 weeks, daily case rates have gone up fourfold, Collins said. This increase comes as the Delta variant spreads and the percentage of vaccinated Americans hover around 49.6%, according to the U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention. Those are your trending topics for today. If you are tuned in on any form of social media, please like, share the show, invite someone else in on the show that may benefit from this valuable information. Co-hosting with me is none other than the cancer activist, motivational speaker, and the founder of the Gal Foundation, ReShell Gilmore. Hello, ReShell.
Hello, Lady ReShell.
How are you?
I am well. Why do it feel like it's been a long time since the last time we did this show? Like, was there 5 weeks in July or something? Like it felt very long.
It might have been 5 weeks, but Relationship Mondays. I can't be biased, but I do love Relationship Mondays. We always have some amazing topics, and the people always give us their input, so it makes it memorable. So I'm excited to see what comes out of the show today.
Yes, always a good show on this first Mondays, Relationship Mondays.
So our topic again is the biggest misconception about relationships. And where I got this topic from, I don't know if you guys listen to any podcast, but there's a podcast called The Crew, and it's 4 guys that come on and they give their opinion on different subjects. So this was one of the subjects that they talked about, and I thought it was really interesting that, sometimes we think that men, are really not like into the relationships, like they really not thinking about it, but these men were really giving their opinions on some of the misconceptions. So I actually found the article online from a Darvanae Johnson. She's a licensed professional counselor, and she gave 10 misconceptions about relationships that she came up with. So we're going to talk about those 10 today.
Oh, we're gonna dive in. Yeah, let's get this thing going.
All right. So the first one she talked about was fighting is an omen. And I think we all can relate to this one.
Fighting is an omen. Okay, so when she say fighting is an omen, which of course, I guess it depends, because it's all about what you're fighting for or what you're fighting about, because every fight isn't your fight. So when she says fighting is an omen, what are particularly, I think I need a little bit more detail with fighting.
This is what she says. She says she tells her couples in her private practice at all times that fighting is okay, but it's how you fight. Believe it or not, she said that there's a healthy way to fight by keeping the conversation honest and not verbally attacking the other person. She says, remember, you can't take back what you said or how you made someone feel. Okay,
I can agree with that. I feel the same way, because sometimes when you say things out of anger, you mean those things because that's how you really feel. So that's like she said, it's about how you fight and what you're fighting for. So yeah, I can agree with that one.
I'm all about fighting fair. Like, you should not be hitting your partner below the belt. Like, certain things just should not even come out unless you're already thinking those things. So if things are coming out that is really hurtful to your partner, then that means that that's something that has been maybe on your mind or you have discussed with somebody, because you should not be hitting your partner below the belt to where when this argument is over, they still is feeling some type of way. So I do believe in fighting fair.
Yeah, it's like you're going already into a fight and you're going in more upset and coming out more bloodier than what it should have been. You going in as a lightweight and you step in the ring, and now we got a heavyweight because you got so many different issues that's on the line now with you guys. So
she said it also. I'm sorry. She said it also, it would cause trust issues, and it would cause, individuals to put up walls, because sometimes we will put up a wall and be like, oh, well, I'm just not going to talk to him or do X, Y, Z anymore because of the fight, because you really didn't get over what happened.
True. And then that fight starts to linger, because now, after the fight is quote unquote over, here's these things that stick in the back of your head. Like, did he really say that? Did she call me that? Then it's like, oh, I didn't mean it. No. Like you said, you can't take it back once it come out of your mouth. Words have power. So now you got thoughts in your mind about what this person said, and it's causing you to have these different thoughts. Like, it all boils down to, do you really know this person? For them to be hitting below the belt, is that the type of person you want to see yourself with? It's a lot of questions you have to begin to ask yourself. They always say you really know a person by how you fight and when you live with them. So, like you said, fighting is healthy, it's okay, but there's a way to fight.
There's a way to fight. Totally agree. So that's the first one out of the 10 as it relates to misconceptions about relationships. Number 2 is, if you don't have to work hard, your relationship sucks.
Now, why would it suck if you don't have to work hard?
Some people feel like if it's just too easy, like, it's too good to be true. And you feel like, we don't really even argue. Like, what's that like? And then some people be like, yeah, they want to argue. They want to, if they're not arguing with their partner, maybe because it's what they seen growing up, they don't feel like, it's a good relationship.
Well, you grew up so you wouldn't be what you seemed like when you was growing up. The whole idea was not to have your relationship go that way if you were surrounded by nothing but chaos. So why would you not, if you're not working hard, doesn't mean that your relationship sucks. Okay, so I disagree with that one.
You disagree with that one?
If you
Okay.
have to work hard, your relationship sucks.
Okay, so this is what she said. She said, it's impossible to take the hard work out of relationships. If you don't work at effective communication, it can only be a matter of time before your relationship deteriorates. All happy relationships demand work.
And that is a true statement. But maybe it's how it's put. If you have to work hard, your relationship, or maybe if you don't work hard.
Remember, these are misconceptions. These are some misconceptions that people have.
I think everybody needs to be putting in equal effort. That's the only way. That's where the balance comes in. You know, I'm taking care of you, you taking care of me. That's where the balance comes in. It has to be a plateau, a straight, even line of that. We're both putting in the work, we're both putting in the effort, and we're both wanting the same thing. One person can't want one thing and the other person don't put in the work and want the same thing either. That's not going to work.
I agree, but I don't think that at most times we're not going to be putting in the same percentage. At most times we're not. Somebody is going to be doing 60, the other person is going to be doing 40, somebody's going to be doing 70, somebody's going to be doing 30. It just depends on where we are in that relationship, because you may have a partner that he works hard, you know, he's always at work, and he, you know, so you're at home and you're picking up most of the slack. And not that you're complaining, because you like that, you know, he's working, he's bringing home the money, you know, but it's like I'm picking up the majority of the slack at home with the kids and everything. So, you know, at some point, when does that shift? It'll shift maybe if he's not working that job anymore, or, you know, if he's just really carving out time to, you know, make it even. But at most times we're not going to be given the same percentage in the relationships.
Well, you know, I watch a lot of reality shows and I see a lot of the women complaining about their man. And they're complaining because you're never home. You never spend time with me. You always at work. Well, how do you think the bills are going to get paid? How do you think I'm going to be able to buy you and get you the things that you want? So you go out and cheat on me because I'm busy trying to satisfy you and keep a roof over our head and, you know, so on and so on. What is she doing other than being home? I mean, sure, if she's taking care of things around the house and, you know, but y'all both need to be some type of money, you know, financial. A lot of the relationships and a lot of the marriages divorce because of financial reasons. So what slack is she picking up? Why would you even bother to, you know, tell the person, hey, you're too busy, or, you know, you don't have time to be here with me. And that's why I went with him, because this guy got plenty of time. So I'm cheating on you.
Well, I mean, if she could be a stay-at-home mom to where she's not working, but she's working in the house, you know, which means she's taking care of the kids. When he gets home, the house is clean, the dinner is on the table, his clothes are clean. He doesn't have to worry about any of those things. But then it's like, okay, at some point in time, it's like, okay, you always working. Like, you know, you should be able to carve out some type of time for the person that you love, because how can you nurture the relationship if you're working? Like, you're not there, you're not present. Like, I need you to be present. And I understand that you're working, but there should be some time to where we carve out some time for just us or just family. And you stick to that.
And that's why date night need to be like every Friday night or every Monday night. Watching Lady ReShell and the Biz do Relationship Mondays. That could be a perfect date night to listen to us. So different things, different days, different times, you know, get that time in when you have it off.
Yeah, I just say you have to be creative, and you just have to be intentional about carving out your time and not putting anything else before that time. Because sometimes we'll be like, oh, we could do it next week. No, we're going to do it because this is our time. And if you don't demand your time, then it'll slip away. And then next thing you know, we haven't had date night for 6 months. So, yeah. Hey, Michelle, thank you for tuning in. If you are just tuning in, we're talking about misconceptions about relationships, and we are on number 3. So if you have any misconceptions, can you please put them in the comments, and we'll read them and discuss them. So we're on number 3, and it says talking to your friends or family about your relationship is important. Remember, these are misconceptions.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy. I pray nobody is out there doing that.
Thank you, Kenya. We appreciate you. You always have some amazing input. Kenya said exactly that's what she do. She watch us on Relationship Monday.
Thank you, Kenya. See? I really hope no one is out there doing that, talking to their friends or family about their relationship and it being important, because listening to other people about what you have, don't nobody know what you have going on but you and that person. If you would do more talking to the person than talking about the person, then the relationship would be doing much better. It would tread water much better than however it is going on at the time. Because obviously, if you got to talk to somebody about it, it could be good news. Let me not say that. It could be good news, what you're saying. You know, I love saying good things about my relationship. You know, I'd be happy about the relationship. But when the relationship is going south, and the problem is, you know, when you say those words, I do, and the Reverend clearly tells you in the vows, for better, for worse, and we love in the better, but we don't know how to handle the for worse part, that's when everything begins to go south. So you can't run to people, I mean, unless it's people who's been in it longer than you. I love listening to the older couples and how they did, and they just tell me like, man, just hang in there and just make it work. It ain't always going to be sunny days. It's going to be some rain.
Well, Kenya says she's sorry to tell y'all, but that's what people do. People talk to other people about their relationship. I'm guilty. I've done it. I've done it to where I've complained to somebody about my partner, but I ain't tell the partner. Like, you know, sometimes you could be in a relationship where you feel like you can't even talk to this other person about what's going on. So you complaining to everybody else about this person. Then when this person come around, everybody looking at him like, So, I mean, it's not fair to the person. It's not fair to the person. So we should be sitting down, talking to that person about, you know, what's going on, what we feel like we're not getting, and, you know, have an open communication with that person so that you won't have to be running to other people, which you should have somebody that you confide in, but we should not be running to somebody down in our partner, you know, all the time. And people do that. And then you shouldn't be telling people all the good stuff either. Like, you watch who you tell and what you tell, because some people would prey on your relationship, and that's PREY. So you have to be careful.
But you know what? And what that causes you, because you start listening to that person and what they say, and you start making different decisions on how you move. Like, let me just tell you that. So for over since 1999, I used to work as a mechanic, and I got really good at it. And over time, when people would describe things such as noises, you know, I knew what noises they were when they describe them, because I've heard this noise before. It does the same thing when it comes to cars. They all do the same thing. They make the same noises. So I know exactly what it is. So I know what to go look for. I know what to go in, and I know what to do, how to fix it. But if I had that same listening ear, a mechanic's ear, when it came to relationships, because every relationship is different, I'm not going to be able to solve that. So when I listen to all the noises that's going on when it comes to relationship, I may not know how to fix this. I may have to listen to someone else who may have heard this noise, but who's to say that they're right? Because the noises in the relationship is different than what it is from a vehicle that you hear over and over again, that you know what that is as soon as you see it. It's, you know, the red flags when they go up, I know what that is. Like, Hey, he's yelling. No, I know what that is. I've seen it. I heard it before. Let me tell my homegirl. Your homegirl's now telling you, hey, I know what that is. I've seen it before. You better leave him alone. Who knows? He could have been having a bad day. And now you kind of threw him under the bus because you was talking to your girlfriend about what was going on in your relationship because you didn't understand. When you heard the noise, you didn't know what it was exactly from the beginning, like you would know some of the other warning signals. So that's my perception on that.
Yeah, and I think we have to be careful and just pay attention to our friends because some people may be in a domestic violence situation. So, just, open your ears and your eyes and pay attention to that. Maybe they may be crying out for help, but, we really should not be running to any and everybody about our relationship problems. I mean, you may have somebody that you confide in, maybe one person, but you shouldn't be telling everybody. Kenya says, once you start to complain to your friends about your partner, trust me, their attitude would change totally. It may be different towards your mate. So you have to be careful what you say. And then you done talked about him like a dog. Now he at the family picnic and everybody at the picnic looking at him because you done talked about him. And they like, why she with him? And he like, what's going on? They like, she like, nothing. So we just, you got to be careful. Take it to the source. We should be taking it to the source and not everybody else. But for some reason, I don't know why we don't do that. Michelle said, every problem I had, I went to God because everybody's not for you.
Well, that's because we confide more in our friends than we do in our partner. So that means automatically you don't trust me. So if you can't come to me and communicate with me these things and these feelings that are very valid about what you're feeling and what's going on in your life, then we definitely need to reevaluate this relationship or this marriage and what's happening, because there should be no problem with you coming to me saying, hey, babe, there's an issue at hand right now between us. And before I think or before I go to, I want to sit down and discuss it with you. I want to make sure that what I'm thinking or what I'm feeling really isn't so, or if it is so, how do I fix it? And that's how it should be.
It should be, but I came to you before and you bit my head off. So now I feel like I can't even come to you. And every time I come to you, you feel like I'm complaining or I'm nagging.
Yeah, but you've been home all day and I'm tired. You had the kids, now they running up to me. They bother me after a 12-hour shift. So how am I supposed to feel? I didn't mean to bite your head off, but it was just in me at the time.
They're not just my kids. Parenting don't start when you hit this door. And then there should be some type of plan when daddy gets home. When daddy gets home, leave daddy alone for at least 15 to 20 minutes. Allow him to gather himself or whatever. Like, again, that should be communicated. We should be talking about that. I think a lot of people need to go to counseling and some type of counseling where you learn how to learn each other communication styles. Because a lot of times we don't even know. Just like we have to learn each other love languages, you should be learning that person's communication style so you'll know how they communicate. So you will know how to communicate with them. And a lot of times we don't care. We just, we're looking at the physical and we're in love with the physical, that we're not even trying to, we surface people and we're not trying to go any deeper than that really. So when it does get to be that deep, we like, oh, wow, this is too much. Like, this is a lot, it gets scary. So yeah. All right, that was number 3. So I don't know if I read hers.
Number 3, oh man, I see it already. We're running out of time. Come on, baby Michelle. What's number 4?
She said, did I read her? She says, when you complain outside to other people about your relationship, it creates a whole new set of problems. She says, think about the impact of what you're telling them, especially if what you're telling them is ill, just to get validation for yourself or to make yourself feel good. So
like I said, and then you got everybody looking at him here and got, now he got a nickname, that y'all gave him and everything. And he's walking around with a target on his back and he don't even know. Because now you got the brothers and the uncles and the cousins looking at him like, because the females who you're talking to, they're having pillow talk with their partners. So now everybody in the circle is looking at this dude like, they giving him the gas face, they giving him the evil looks, and he don't even know like what's going on. Like, yeah.
They waiting on him to make a move because they about to go. They wait. They waiting on you to just give them that nod and be like, we got them.
Yeah, pillow talk is serious.
All right. The fourth misconception about relationships is always pick your battles. And I think I always talk about this. I always say, you should always pick your battles. Everything is not worth fussing over, But then when I read her response, I'm like, I don't know. So she said, you should feel emotionally safe expressing how you feel about something. And you should not have to pick and choose when you want to say it. If there is something happening that made you feel a certain way, then you should express that to your partner. If your partner feels that your feelings don't matter, then you need to figure out a way to get them to open up to hear your side of the story. So she's saying that you should be discussing, you should not be picking your battles. You should be discussing how you feel if it made you feel a certain way. It's like some people would be like, I'm gonna let that slide. I'm gonna let that slide. How many things do you let slide before you address it?
Yeah, but see that becomes the buildup. Because now you're letting it slide, you letting it go. Then something else happened, you're gonna let that slide, let it go. And now we got the buildup. So I do agree with her on expressing things right then and there, because you want to nip it in the bud. But there's a time and place for everything. That part I don't agree on, because you could be at or in a situation where it's not called for it just yet. You can talk about it when you get home. And especially depending on what partner you have. If you got a hot-headed partner and you want to address something right then and there, you're about to have the whole restaurant, the whole funeral, or whatever you're doing or where you at, everybody going to be looking at you. You bringing that drama now, because that's what I'm going to look at you like, why you got to talk about this right now? So there's a time and a place for everything. So that part of what she's saying, I would disagree a little bit on, but I do agree with her saying, like, let's talk about it, and then too, it's a certain way of how you say it, because it could have been something that angered you and you don't want to come off angry, yelling at your partner. You might need 20 minutes to cool down so you can say it in a calming way. Maybe you need to step back and think about it, put yourself in their shoes and see how, it is with the shoes on the other foot. Maybe let me look at it from a different angle. We got to be more three-dimensional when it comes to the relationship, because usually we only look at things one way. So we got to look at it from your view, the other person's view, and then we got to step out of both of those characters and step outside the box and look at it from another angle. So I think that's where I stand on that.
She did talk about taking like a 20-minute break just to regroup yourself, if you need to calm down, and then come back together and discuss it, because by that time you're probably going to be calmed down, because it gives you a chance to really think about, oh, wow, that was really stupid. I got mad over nothing.
Yeah.
So hopefully it will calm you down.
It's almost like, what is it, like you about to premeditate an argument or something, like you had so much time to think about it, like just chill out. Maybe you didn't get all the clues, or maybe you didn't hear everything because you was ear hustling and you got part of it and you jump into conclusions. So yeah, just chill out for a minute and make sure you got all your facts straight before you go at this person.
All right. We are on number 5, talking about the 10 misconceptions about relationship. If you are tuning in, please share this show out to someone else, invite somebody else in, and put your comments in there and let us know what your misconception is about relationships. So number 5 is getting married or having a baby. And she said, this is a misconception. She says, that will make the problem in the relationship go away. This is one that makes me laugh or cringe every time I hear it. Just like building a house, your foundation has to be solid before you're thinking about what color paints to put on the wall. The foundational element of a relationship consists of things like trust, respect, and the degree to which your partner feels capable of meeting your needs. So she said, if the element is shaky, trust me, no wedding or no child can fix that.
This is a question when I wanted to strike conversation, I would ask women all the time, what's more important to you, building a foundation or maintaining what you built? And I had a lot of women, of course, they would say the foundation, the foundation. You could build the foundation. You can build a nice home and all of that. You know, you can have a white picket fence, the dog running around. You built the foundation. You got trust. You got loyalty. You got all of those things. But who's to say 3 years down the line, something happened? Maybe he don't find you attractive anymore. Maintaining that. It's not how big the house is, but how happy the home is.
I think that some people get scared in a relationship if they feel like something is happening that's going to threaten them being with this person. They may try to have a baby, or they may say, let's get married, to try to secure a shaky foundation. And some people have gotten married and had babies and found out that no, that was not the way to go. And so now they are forever attached with these people that they probably should have either waited and build that solid foundation, or probably never even had anything to do with them in the first place. So
that ain't gonna work. That's why we got so many baby mamas and baby daddies out there. Having a baby ain't gonna keep no man, and it ain't gonna keep no woman. So
it's an added responsibility. So you have this relationship and y'all fighting to spend time together, and now you bring another person into it. It's like, you know, it's, I don't want to say added stress, but it's a different element to the relationship, to where, you know, you both may, if that person is at work and you're at home taking care of the baby, you may resent him because he's working, you know, or he may resent you because he really don't, the baby don't even want to come to him, you know, because the baby at home with you all day. And then when he come home, the baby looking at the daddy all strange. So yeah. It's
baby don't recognize daddy because he gone for 12 hours a day out there to feed him, trying to keep a roof over him or her head.
You still got to get that quality time in. I don't care how many hours you're working, you got to get that quality time. I'm not saying quantity time where it's a lot of time, but it's what you do with the time, you know, when you're with your family. You don't have to be out spending a lot of money. You could go for a walk in a park. You know, it's what you do with that time.
Right.
So we are on number 6. I can't believe we're on number 6. So number 6 is, you have to change for your partner if you love them. You will change for them. Remember, this is a misconception.
You have to change for your partner if you love them.
If you love me and I told you that it's something I don't like, you should be trying to change for me. This is not me saying this. I'm just saying. This is not how I feel.
You know what's funny about that quote, because a woman that you have to change for or make you feel like you're not doing enough or whatever, you're never going to keep her happy. You're never going to keep her happy. And right there should be a sign that she's not the woman for you. Because first of all, if I have to change anything about you, you're not the woman for me. I need to be able to accept you for everything that you have and everything that you got going on and everything that you're coming with, baggage, kids, whatever, and all. So if I have to change anything about you, or you're trying to change something about me that now you and got up on your high horse, you know, that I'm like beneath you, or I'm not on your level or anything like that, I'm never going to be able to make you happy. So it's a done deal for me. Yeah, move on. Thank you for the opportunity. I hope you find what you're looking for.
So I heard this quote that says, men marry women hoping they won't change, and women marry men hoping they will change.
That was me.
That was not your quote.
It was. I said men, not marry. I said men get into relationships hoping that the woman don't change, and women get into relationships thinking they can change the man. Okay. That was the biz.
When I got it off the internet, it didn't say resolve, but I'm gonna give you the credit, okay?
They misspelled my name wrong again.
I figured that. I was like, that's resolve. Okay. She says, understand that when we enter into a relationship, it is a buy as is policy. You get what you see.
Man, your woman out there being as is. It's worse than buying the car.
If you attracted to somebody and y'all start talking, you're dating, it was something about her that or him that attracted you to that person. And then all of a sudden you trying to change stuff about this person, then you don't want to be with that person.
It comes down to this. When you first see a woman and you start talking to her, really in a man's mind, the first thing is saying like, yeah, I want to sleep with you. I want to sleep with you. But as the game changed, I want you to get to know me for me because your feelings and your thoughts and my agenda is different than what your agenda is. So we go along with the getting to know you and, all that stuff, but not knowing like, what, this woman is really cool. I think I may really like her. So it's a tough one when it comes. It's a tough one. Yeah, we might have to do a whole show on that.
Kenya said it's not gonna happen. You're not changing her. It's not gonna happen. Michelle says, I wanted to write a book about my relationship, but I'm so scared if women only knew. Both partners must have understanding. Like I said, learn how to keep your husband. Don't share everything with your friends. If you ever walk in my shoes, you will think twice about your marriage.
Sound like a woman from experience. She done went through some things. Michelle, I feel you, girl. That sister girl, she done went through some things.
All about that wisdom. All right, so we're on number 7. We're talking about the 10 misconceptions about relationships.
We having good time today. Okay.
Yes. Number 7 is if you lose the spark, your relationship is over.
Ooh, yep. Here we about to spend some time on this one, I see. Let me take a sip. Hold on.
That's a long sip. Okay.
And that's
if
the
you
one.
lose the spark, your relationship is over. There's no need to continue.
Well, the whole idea about the relationship is keeping the spark. I need to feel the same way about you that I felt about you when I first saw you or when I first met you. Someone told me when you walk in the room and I don't fall back in love with you again, then something ain't right. Either you need to go back out that door and let's try this again or something. But
I don't think that's being realistic.
That's not being realistic. I don't think losing the spark that the relationship is over.
It may be times that I don't even like you. I may love you, but I don't even like you. I may not even see that spark. I may be looking at you like, what was I thinking? That may be just a moment.
So you just going.
I think that's unrealistic. Say it again. I'm sorry.
So are you just going along to get along?
No, I'm not going along to get along. No. If something is going wrong in my relationship, I voice it. I will give you warnings. I'll write up a plan to tell you what to do. We're gonna have a whole conversation. So before I make my exit, you will know why I'm making the exit. Because I'm gonna tell you. I'm not just gonna up and leave. I'm gonna give you a chance to correct the situation. I'm gonna tell you that something is not right. There's a need that's not being met. And certain needs you shouldn't have to fulfill. But if there's a need that I want you to fulfill and I'm voicing my opinion and 2 weeks you do it and then 2 weeks later it's like, okay, I shut her up. It's over with. I'm going to remind you again. Hey, remember we had that talk? And if I see that, you're not trying, then yeah, I'm really gonna make my exit strategy. Now, if it's a marriage, we can go to counseling. If it's a relationship, I'm not going to be invisible in my relationship, and I'm not gonna sit there and have my needs not being met.
Okay, question. So other than having the convenience of a partner, how would you keep that spark going? Because the whole idea is, how do I fall in love with you over and over again, even time after time, even with us growing from relationship to marriage and us growing from kids to adults, how do I keep falling in love with you over and over again?
So I always say that love is not enough to keep us together. So we have to be doing everything. Every day we wake up, we should be choosing each other. So we should be dating each other often. And again, like I said before, being intentional about dating each other. We should be purposely scheduling out time. And some people laugh when they say, oh, I schedule out time to have sex. I think it was Tia and her husband. She said, I had to schedule time to have sex with him because she's so busy. And people laughed at it like, what? You schedule time? But she was being intentional about making sure that she was having intimate time with her husband. Intimate time doesn't always mean sex, but she wanted to make sure that she took care of him in that way. So she had to schedule it. He wasn't complaining. He was like, okay, as long as I'm getting my need met. She made sure she was meeting that need. So we have to make sure that we're there for our partners in difficult situations. Sometimes we're there physically, but mentally we're not there. So it's like you're going through on your own. So you just got to be present for that person. You got to be, want to be around your person. Do things together where you can bond again, like experience something new, make a bucket list. The two of you have not done things and go out and do certain things together to where, you both are nervous, y'all scared, but y'all do it together. You bond over things like that. If he has a hobby or something that he's doing, learn about the hobby, and sit there with him and talk about it. He'd be looking at you like, how you know that? Like, it's like take interest in what each other are doing. And then also give each other their time to hang out. If he wants to go hang out with his boys and he's not on anything, give him his time. Allow him to go and have that time away from you. And you do the same thing. A lot of times we try to smother each other. I'm serious. Uncover the mask. You are so right, Kenya. She said, you're never too busy for intimacy with your mate. You're not. Mm-hmm. Like I said, it doesn't have to be sex. It could be he's giving you a back rub or you rubbing his feet, or it could be something so simple, but it's quality. It's quality.
Well, I often tell men the same way the things that you did in the beginning of the relationship, you do them throughout the relationship, and the relationship won't end. Keep doing those things the same way that you got her. Because I know we get into the relationship and now it's a year later, it's like we're an old married couple or whatever, because now I ain't got you and I'm not buying you flowers anymore. We're not going out to our favorite restaurants or even trying new ones. I like, when you're in a relationship and you're planning date night and you both are doing, it's a first for both of us. So we're getting that experience, and that's what keeps it making things exciting. Like, hey, it's my first time trying Japanese. Oh, it's my first time too. Oh, great. So we're now going to experience it together. And I could say, I did that with you. And that's going to stick and be embedded into my head. Like, that was the first time and I did it with her. I enjoyed that. That's a memory. Creating those memories, creating those scenarios and doing those type of things will definitely keep the spark there. Unless it started off wrong, which is lies, maybe even, sex or whatever the case. But if it's somebody who you are truly trying to grow with, you're going to do everything. You're going to do anything to be there, everything.
If the foundation is there, then you can continue to build on that foundation. If the foundation is shaky, then every time you put something on that foundation, that something may fall off. So you have to make sure that the foundation is not shaky. And a lot of times we don't want to take the time to build the foundation. We want to skip some steps. And then it looks like it appears that this is a solid foundation. On Facebook, it's a solid foundation. People see us vacationing. We taking couple pictures behind doors. We fighting like cats and dogs. Behind doors, we're not even sleeping in the same bed. Behind doors, we haven't even said I love you in a long time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you see a lot of that on the reality shows. I think Erica, Mina, and Safari been going through that for the longest. They making it look good for the camera. It was great, but now it's only so much. But it's only so much that you can play the role before the true character come out. And now here we are, and here they are now at each other end, because did they really get the chance to know each other? Because they're bickering about back and forth. I want a kid. I don't want a kid. Well, it's too late. We're having a kid. I'm feeling some kind of way. We didn't even get ready to get through the first one. It's a mess. Now we got drama. It's a mess. And as you see, she's talking to her sister. She's talking to her mother. So now we got people in the ear, and he's talking to people. So it's a mess. I don't know.
Michelle said, first of all, love really got to come from the heart. I totally agree it has to come from the heart, but don't allow love to make you to be a fool, though. Because some people will be like, oh, but she loves me. So they try to do things that, they'll get away with a lot because you love them. Don't allow love to make you blind. Yeah, I love you, but I can love you and I can be by myself. Because what I'm not going to do is allow you to degrade me and make me feel less than what I am. I can take that love right over there and be by myself. So don't take my love. It can come from the heart, but don't allow someone to use that and make a fool out of you, to stay in a situation when it's the foundation and, it's not there. Don't do it.
Yeah, especially those battery and assaults and all of that stuff, the victims. Oh, but I love him. But he done gave you 2 black eyes. It's okay. It's all right. He loves me. I love him. And they stay. It's 5 years later. You still got black eyes going on. That's love. Love ain't supposed to hurt that type of way.
Kenya said that's what Tina Turner said. So you just don't use my love like that. Kenya said people need to stop thinking that sex is going to keep a person. It's gonna keep them for that 5 minutes y'all doing it. And after that, it may keep them coming back because you're feeling a need for them, so they may keep coming back to get it. She said Safari and Eric, is it Erica? Erica. Are sleeping in two. See, there you go, Kenya. See, I was just saying that they're not even sleeping in the same room. That's crazy.
And see, I can't understand why they're not sleeping. I mean, obviously there's more to it, but I watched as my parents got older. And my father, when I moved out, he started sleeping in my room, but it was for different reasons. It wasn't because him and, my mom was beefing, but they slept in separate rooms when they got older. I'm quite sure they wasn't even doing anything, so it didn't even make a difference. But still, just to have that person who you've been with, all your life right there next to you, you feeling their touch, they leg on your leg, or they feet touching your feet, or your arm, or, they got you're cuddled, or you're spooning, or whatever. Not to have that anymore. It definitely, it feels cold. It really feels cold.
Sometimes I'd be happy I'm by myself. I stretch out and I'd be like, yes, Jesus. Nobody tapping me on my shoulder like, babe, no, go to sleep. I got a headache. Sometimes I'd be happy. And then sometimes I'd be like,
you hit him with I got the headache.
Be nice. I haven't been married since 2016. So it's nice having a partner there. I totally agree. It's nice having somebody there with you. I think sometimes we take for granted that we have that person all the time. But sometimes I'd be so happy. I'd be like, guys, it's just me. It would be nice to have somebody, but I'd be happy sometimes.
We're going to have to go through a segment, the top 10 reasons that women give you when they don't want to have sex.
Why? All women are not like that, though.
We have to take a poll on them.
You would be kidding yourself, especially you denying him, but you also denying yourself. So why deny yourself?
Because you got some women who just ain't interested. Trust me, I had a girl. I had not physical fight, but I've gotten to big arguments with one of my ex-girlfriends because of sex.
And if I'm telling you I've had a headache all the time, it may be something that maybe I'm not communicating to you that I want. So I really don't want to do it. So I'm gonna be like, no, I got a headache. I got cramps. If I'm telling you that a lot, then it's something that's happening while we're in the act that I'm just not enjoying. So I don't want to do it. You
think if a couple has gone like 2 weeks and say haven't had sex? It should be like, I mean, I can't say the time frame. Is it a once a week thing? Is it once every 2 weeks? You know, like what's a good roundabout number for a healthy relationship that you should be intimate with your partner?
It depends on your partner. It depends on your appetite. Like I watch DeVal and Kadeem and how they always talk about like their relationship. They talk about their marriage and sex. And I know at one point he was complaining because she didn't want to do it. And they had to actually figure out, she went to a counselor to try to figure out what was going on with her and why she did not want to do it. And he was just like, when we was in college, we were like rabbits. And now we married, we got kids, and it's like, I'm barely getting it. And so what happened was they ended up going to the doctor. I think she had some type of birth control that was really making her libido down. So she didn't want to do it. And so now she's not on the birth control anymore. And they was talking about how now he's up to like sometimes 3-4 times a week. So, you know, it's just, again, it's about communicating with your partner about what's going on. Okay, if he wants to do it that many, if he say, babe, let's do it 5 times a week. Babe, how about 3? You got to negotiate. You know, how about I do this? It don't have to necessarily be the whole act. Well, how about I do this? Like you have to communicate with your partner so that, you know, both of y'all can walk away happy.
Yeah, in that particular situation, I can understand the compromise, you know, but it's really, if college we like rabbits, and then now we down to like tortoise status, you know, like turtle status, and we ain't really doing it. Like,
Michelle said when she was married, sometimes she didn't want to have sex, but her husband said, "You are my wife," and he took it from her.
Michelle, that sounds like a whole other show. I guess that's why he's not your husband.
It's just me. So y'all married. So if you don't feel like doing it, he said, well, I'm taking it. All right. If you taking it and I really don't want to do it, I'm about to lay there like a bump on the log. And I'm going to be looking at you. My eyes going to be looking at you, and you're going to be feeling some type of way. And you ain't going to be able to perform, because I'm going to be like, oh my God, this is over with. Oh God. You know, or I may just stare without any movement, any sound. So you're going to be like, okay, I'm not. I want you to be present. You should want your partner to be present in the act. And if she's saying, I don't want to do it, find out why. Babe, what's wrong? You know, you got a headache. You know, you hungry. Do I need to cook you something? You know, find out what it is and why she doesn't want to. Because women want it just as much as men. We do. But it's like for us, it's like women, we kind of like, we want you to call us, but hey, babe, what you got on? All right, when I get home, all right, this is what I want you to do. I want you to go in the house, leave the door open, and I got the rose petals. You know, it's like we want you to have to coach us into doing it for some reason. I don't know why. We want you to coach us in the whole day. We don't want you just, as soon as we get home, babe, let's do it. No, we want you to kind of prime us up until the time, that's just something women do. I don't know. What is a turtle situation? I don't know. What's a turtle situation?
Well, you was at it like rabbits, and now everything gonna slow down.
Oh, okay. Okay, so we're gonna have to finish this conversation. I knew we weren't gonna get to it.
What number are you on?
I have more than 10, so we stopped on number 7. So we're gonna pick up the conversation
number 8
on the next Relationship Monday. So Rizal, give me an under 30
What's
seconds.
number 8? I want to know what number 8 was.
Why? Number 8 is they may not understand. You don't understand your partner. Sometimes you say, if I don't understand your partner, then we don't need to be together.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
So we left off on number 8. So we'll discuss that. I appreciate you guys' input. Rizal, give me 30 seconds of some words of wisdom.
Ooh, words of wisdom. Look, don't let nobody talk you out of your relationship, especially if it's your relationship. Everybody's not in what you have. You're in it. They're just surrounded by it. So that's my words of wisdom for tonight.
All right. Thank you. I will leave you with these words of wisdom. It says, choose your love your choice. So join me next Monday at 6 p.m. right here on Intellectual Radio. As always, thank you for tuning in to Warriors Talk with author and founder Lady ReShell, co-hosting Rizal Gilmore, and we are changing lives one warrior at a time.
Thank you for listening to this week's edition of Warriors Talk with Lady ReShell. To find out more about Warriors Talk, follow at Warriors Talk, the number 1, on all social media outlets, and Warriors Talk with Lady ReShell on YouTube. Please join us next week and every Monday evening at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time on intellectualradio.com for Warriors Talk with Lady ReShell, where we encourage, educate, and empower you into action.